I'm adding an outdoor kitchen to the patio, and the patio is pretty small, so I didn't want to take up any space on the patio, so I decided to pour a slab. The slab is going to be about 32 inches by 9 feet long, and I decided to pour one of these dry pour slabs. Started off as usual, making a form, digging out where the slab is going to go, and then putting the form in place, making sure everything's level, tamping down the dirt, and then filling it with crushed stone for drainage. Once everything was good, I put in the first layer of the dry pour concrete, which is just regular concrete. I actually went to the store looking for dry pour concrete, and then I realized that it's the same thing as the pre-mixed concrete that you'll get at any home store or hardware store. So I put in a layer of the concrete, leveled it out to about 1.75 inches deep, and then I put down an armature. And this was straight from the home store. I think this measured about 30 inches by 8 feet, so it's just about perfect. And put that in place, then poured more concrete over top of it. And once all the concrete was in the form, then I started to level it out. Basically, you make a piece of wood that's a little bit wider than your form, and you kind of screen it back and forth, trying to get it as level as possible. This really isn't that easy with the dry pour concrete. And when I said that, it seems like I guess I did this because I thought it was going to be less work than mixing 80-pound bags of concrete in a wheelbarrow. But in my view, it was just about the same amount of work and probably dirtier because you're right inside the concrete with all the dust. I was wearing a dust mask, but still, definitely not my favorite way. But I wanted to try it out. So trying to get the surface really smooth is pretty difficult. I ended up screening some of the concrete to remove some of the aggregate, so I just had more of a sand and cement mixture, kind of filling in some of the gaps and then going back over it with the board to smooth it out. And once I got it really smooth, and this took a while, I then went over it with a paint roller, which I saw on a few other videos. People do that for texture. It's a 3/8 paint roller, dry paint roller. Went over that, and then now the surface is ready for what they call misting. And I misted the surface of the concrete for, probably for a good 5 or 8 minutes or whatever. You don't want to go with a real heavy stream because you're going to disturb the surface. So I'm just misting it. Then I waited 45 minutes, misted it again, waited another 45 minutes, and then I set the hose to the shower setting and really soaked it. Gave it a good soaking for maybe a good 5 or 10 minutes, and did that every hour for 7 hours. So I was out there at night soaking it down. I think the last time I soaked it down was about 11 o'clock at night. And the next day it looked pretty good. And it looks pretty good now. It's just I don't have as much confidence in it as I do a regular wet pour. And as you can see, when I removed the forms, I had a 1 or 2 areas at the edge where it kind of crumpled away. Not too bad, but not perfect. I did see on some videos where they use the round over trowel to edge it. I tried that, didn't work for me. So I ended up using a brick as a kind of a sanding block and just softened the edge a little bit. Once the slab dried for another day or two, I then put the bricks back in place, and overall I'm pretty happy with it. I just don't have the same amount of confidence in a dry pour as I do with a wet pour, and in my view it was just as much work or maybe even more work than your traditional wet pour. So here it is, and I think it looks good. And now it's all ready for the assembling of the outdoor kitchen. Okay, well, it's been a few weeks and the slab's doing great. And as you can see, I have the kitchen installed. This is an RTA Outdoor Living kitchen along with Coyote Appliances, and I will be posting a full video on the installation of the kitchen over here along with the asado grill. The reason why I poured a dry pour slab is I honestly thought it was going to be easier, but in my opinion, I think it's harder, and I just don't have the confidence that I do in a traditional wet pour slab like I did over here. This slab took 11 80-pound bags of concrete. I had to use a couple of 40s too, just because that's what my hardware store had. And so the main reason for not pouring a wet pour is I just didn't want to mix all that concrete. Over here, I just poured this slab, and I'll be posting a video on that as well. This took maybe 4.5 80-pound bags, and either I'm stronger or mixing concrete just isn't as difficult as I remembered it, because this wasn't that difficult. I think it was faster. I like the finish better. I was able to use a trowel on the corners. And so going forward, I will be pouring traditional wet pours. So I hope that this video helped you make your decision next time you're going to work with concrete. I say just do the traditional wet pour. If it's anything bigger than this, maybe rent a mixer. I will have videos coming up on the installation of this kitchen along with the smoker sometime in the next few weeks. So I hope that you'll subscribe so you can tune in for those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.